Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Deziel and today I'm showing you how to trace all the pattern piece for the skirt overall. I'm going to start with the skirt part. So I'll be using the pocket opening line, the waist, indicate my center front, the fly, center front, bottom and side seam to come back all the way to the pocket opening. Now you could see my front skirt part retraced and cut, and I did add a seam allowance of 1 centimeter all around except for the hem where I put 4 centimeter. On this pattern piece you're going to need the notch. This is the hip notch that comes from the block. You're also going to have notch for your hemline, so 4 centimeter on each side. And you're going to need the notch at the center front to indicate where to fold for the fly. Now the grind line of this piece is for sure parallel to your center front, and the pattern piece is going to be cut 2 times in self. We're now ready to trace the bib and the pocket. So you're going to take 2 pieces of paper, place it under of this area. Now we could trace all around the bib area and the pocket area. Now I retrace on one paper the pocket and on the other one the bib. I'm going to start with the pocket, and the first thing to do is to indicate the center front or the fold line of the pocket. Then you could add your seam allowance. I will put 1 centimeter on the side, 1 centimeter at the bottom, and a hem of 2.5 centimeter on top. Now we could cut the pocket all around, but to start I'm going to remove the top part, so after the hemline on the pocket opening side. Then you're going to fold on the pocket opening line and cut all around. The reason why I started this way for the cutting is for you to get the jog for the pocket opening line. So I did my notch for the fold line, and now I'm just missing the information starting with the grain line parallel to my center front. This pocket piece is going to be cut on fold 1 time in self fabric. Now for the bib part, it's up to you. It could be unfold at center front, or you put a seam allowance to have a seam. Now my pattern is going to be unfold. I'm going to start with the seam allowance at the bottom, where I will put a 1 centimeter seam allowance. On the side of the bib, if you want to do just like the jeans, it's usually rolled twice. So we need a little wider seam allowance. Here I will put 1.5 centimeter. And on top, I'm going to do pretty much like I did on the pocket. So put a self-fold facing. Just like I decide on my plan, it's going to be a 4 centimeter. Now for the cutting, we'll do just like we did for the pocket, starting by cutting the excess on the top part. Then you're going to fold on the top part of the bib and cut all around. Now the bib is almost finished. We're still missing the information, starting with the grain line parallel to the center front. This piece will be cut 1 time on fold in fabric. Now to say that the pattern is complete, we still need one little information. We need to add punch hole to be able to place the pocket at the right level. The way I ask you to trace the pocket and the bib in the same time should give you the information about the pocket, the exact pocket level. Here you could see I retraced the pocket using my little dot from the tracing wheel. So I have the exact position of my pocket, and the punch hole will be 1 centimeter down from the top of the pocket and 3 millimeter inside. Here is the punch hole. I'm going to now trace the pocket bag and the pocket facing. To trace my pocket bag and my facing in the same time, I'm going to put under a wider piece of paper for the pocket bag and another layer for the facing area. Then I'm going to trace the contour of my pocket bag, the pocket opening, and the facing line. Once all the lines are retraced, I want you to pin both papers together. Then you're going to fold on that straight line. Then you're going to add your 1 centimeter seam allowance all around, except where you have the fold line. Now before cutting all around, we're going to place the notch that's going to be on all those pieces. And we're going to put it on top and at the bottom of the pocket opening line, not the facing. Once your pattern is cut, you could do your notch. Now before to separate the paper, we're going to trace the grain line on the facing piece, and you're going to do it parallel to the fold of the paper. This facing piece is going to be cut 2 times or 1 pair in self fabric. Now to finish this piece, you're going to cut right on the facing width line. Now if you're wondering why we didn't put seam allowance there, it's because usually the facing is applied onto the pocket bag and it's only overlocked. I usually indicate it on the seam to make sure I don't forget that I don't have seam allowance there. Now for the pocket bag, open your paper and on one side only trace the pocket opening line. Then you could add your seam allowance and cut it. This pocket bag is going to be cut 2 times in lining. Now we'll do the pattern for the little facing part. So I'm going to place a little piece of paper under. Then we're going to trace with the tracing wheel all around. This little piece is going to need seam allowance on 2 sides. First the side seam, then the waistline. The grain line could be traced like right in the middle, just straight like that. And the piece is going to be cut 2 times in fabric. To complete the front pattern, we have one more piece to do. It's the waistband. And since the waistband pattern should be double or the same fabric or another fabric, I want you to do the complete pattern. So take a longer piece of paper, put it under the waist area, and we will trace all around. Once your pattern is retraced, you're going to fold your paper on the center front line. Then we'll put the seam allowance and cut all around. Now we're going to place notch at the center front, top and bottom for the bib area and for the skirt area. For this piece, the grain line could be placed both directions, so you could indicate the vertical grain line or the horizontal grain line. And like I was saying before, this piece will be cut 2 times, or 1 fabric and 1 in pocketing, or 2 in self fabric. Now just make sure you have all your pattern piece. So we have the skirt part with the fly attached, we have the pocket bag, we have the pocket facing, we have the bib, we have the pocket bib, we have the waistband, and the little facing for the opening. That's it for today. I hope you enjoy. Make sure you're coming back for the back pattern. Thanks for watching, and I see you next time.